the archetypal hero is the son of culture and nature. So, okay, so here's a shadow figure. Here, he's represented here not so much as Simba's shadow, although he's part of Simba's shadow. He's represented as Mufasa's shadow. And so it's quite a complex idea, because what it says is, when a king-like organization grows up, which means any organization, anything that's a hierarchy and that's powerful, there's a shadow element to it that tends towards totalitarianism and tyranny. And that's represented often by the king's evil brother. It's a very common motif in mythologically based stories. And the king is generally blind to his brother. So, often willfully blind, although that doesn't really seem to be the case in The Lion King. It is clearly the case that Mufasa underestimates the danger posed by his usually older and smarter brother. And the myths very often make the case that the evil king is the older one and also the one that's more intelligent. And the reason for that is that, as far as I can tell, is that intelligence is something that can go very wrong if it goes wrong, and one of its big temptations is that it produces models of the world and then falls in love with the models. And when it falls in love with the models, that makes it totalitarian, because it believes that its constructions are good enough so that there doesn't need to be anything else. So it eliminates the necessity of the transcendent, and that's definitely a characteristic of any totalitarian system. It says, this is everything we need, and then, you know, if you happen to suffer, or if you happen to openly rebel against the system, then you're regarded as an enemy of truth, and then it's fine to do with you whatever might be done, because everything worth doing has already been done. Now, he's got an interesting facial expression, and it's really worth watching facial expressions in animated cartoons, because they're not faces, right? What they are is the consequence of the observations of extremely talented artists about how people's faces configure themselves over very long periods of time, because these people are high-level artists. They know what they're doing. And so they're able to distill down certain facial expressions to describe a character. Now this guy's obviously, he's whiny, he's got this supercilious and arrogant voice, so he's arrogant beyond belief. And he is also hard done by and resentful, and that's a really good, and maybe he has a reason. He's got a scar, something happened to him that wasn't good, but he's taken on this attitude as resentful victim who really deserves to rule, if only everyone could see how wonderful he was. And then he has all sorts of reasons why the fact that he isn't powerful has nothing to do with his own shortcomings.